Gemini, let's be honest for a second. There are moments in your life when even you don't fully understand why you vanish, why you pull away, why your energy shifts overnight, why you suddenly want silence when you were the most talkative person in the room yesterday. And if you're watching this, it means one thing: you're tired of people misinterpreting your disappearances as coldness, disinterest, or emotional immaturity. But here is the truth the world doesn't understand. You don't disappear because you stop caring. You disappear because something inside you rises that nobody else can see. And today, we're diving deep into the real reasons behind your inconsistent behavior, the psychological, emotional, spiritual, and cosmic layers that explain exactly why you vanish and why it's never what people think. By the end of this video, Gemini, you're going to understand yourself better, and honestly, people around you will finally understand you too. Before we go deeper, tell me this in the comments if you're comfortable. Do you disappear suddenly when you're overwhelmed, or when you're bored, or both? I'm curious to know how many Geminis relate. Now let's begin. Reason 1. You don't disappear. You retreat to reset your mind. One thing most people fail to understand is that Gemini doesn't retreat for emotional drama. You retreat to reset your mental system. Your mind is constantly processing, analyzing, thinking, imagining, evaluating. You have mental tabs open that would overwhelm the average person, even though to the world you appear calm and adaptable. But inside, it's like a computer with 47 windows open. Eventually, it needs a reboot. Your disappearances are not a breakdown, they're maintenance. When life gets too noisy, people too demanding, or emotions too heavy, you disappear because your entire being whispers, "I need space to think clearly again." Some people recharge with physical rest. Others recharge with social interaction. You recharge with mental silence. And here's the twist, Gemini. You disappear so you can return. Better, clearer, calmer, more controlled. Your retreat is preparation, not avoidance. And if you're still here watching, comment, "I disappear to reset." Let's see how many Geminis resonate with this truth. Reason 2. Your energy is extremely sensitive, even if you hide it well. People think Geminis are insensitive, detached, emotionally distant, unaffected. But if you're honest with yourself, you know that's not true. Gemini is one of the most emotionally porous signs, even though it doesn't look like it on the outside. You pick up on people's moods, tone, inconsistencies, expectations, and emotional tension faster than anyone notices. You disappear because your nervous system gets overloaded. And here's the thing no one understands. You don't disappear when things get bad. You disappear when things get too much. Too many emotions, too many expectations, too many conversations, too many conflicting energies, too much pressure to be on all the time. Gemini is an air sign. You need space to breathe. And sometimes the only way to breathe is alone. So you pull back, not because you stop caring, but because your energy becomes too entangled with everything around you. You don't run from emotions. You withdraw to protect your sanity. Reason 3. Your mood changes rapidly because you feel things in layers, not lines. Gemini's emotions aren't linear. They're layered. You don't feel one emotion at a time. You feel multiple emotions at once, overlapping, contradicting, expanding, collapsing. This is why one moment you're excited, the next moment you're thoughtful, and 10 minutes later you want silence. Your mood doesn't change, it shifts to the dominant emotion of the moment. When someone misreads one of your emotional layers, dismisses it, or fails to understand the complexity of what you feel, you retreat, not out of spite, but because you don't want to explain yourself repeatedly. Gemini doesn't like emotional monotony. You like emotional clarity. If a situation becomes too messy, too unpredictable, or too emotionally draining, your instinct is, let me step back before this absorbs me. And yes, sometimes this creates inconsistency, but it's not inconsistency. It's emotional adaptation. If you've ever felt misunderstood emotionally, hit the like button. Seriously, I want to see how many of you know this feeling. Reason 4. You outgrow people mentally before you outgrow them physically. Here's a harsh truth about you, Gemini. You don't disappear physically first. You disappear mentally. And once you detach mentally, your physical disappearance is only a matter of time. You outgrow people intellectually, spiritually, energetically, emotionally, psychologically. Sometimes the conversation feels stagnant. Sometimes the person no longer stimulates your mind. Sometimes their energy becomes repetitive. Sometimes you feel suffocated in predictable routines. Sometimes you see through their motives faster than they can hide them. And once that happens, your presence becomes lighter, your replies slower, your enthusiasm dimmer, until eventually you drift. People think Geminis ghost, but the truth is Geminis fade, slowly, silently, gently, long before they disappear. You retreat from what no longer grows you. Reason 5, you're not inconsistent, you're adaptable. This is the biggest misunderstanding about you. People say Gemini is inconsistent, but inconsistency means you lack direction. That's not what happens. You observe, you evaluate, you shift according to the environment. It's not inconsistencies, it's adaptability. You read the room, the energy, the vibe. You adjust your behavior to match the moment. But when the environment becomes too rigid, too predictable, or too emotionally heavy, your adaptability slows and then stops. People call that inconsistency. But in reality, you're simply responding to the environment. If someone wants consistency from you, they have to give you space to breathe, room to express yourself, and freedom to change. Without that, you disappear. Reason 6. When you sense dishonesty, you withdraw instantly. Gemini sees lies before they're spoken. You read tone, pauses, inconsistencies in stories, small shifts in behavior, body language, energy. Your intuition is razor sharp. Even if you don't talk about it, you may not confront people, but you feel it. And when you sense dishonesty, your instinct isn't to argue. It's to disconnect. Gemini doesn't like conflict. You like clarity. If someone tries to manipulate you, hide things, twist facts, or play emotional games, you vanish fast. It's not avoidance, it's self-protection. You don't want drama. You want transparency. And when someone can't give you that, you silently walk away. Reason 7. You disappear. When you're not mentally stimulated. This is one of your biggest secrets, Gemini. You need stimulation, not chaos, not drama. Stimulation, meaningful conversation, new ideas, humor, creativity, unpredictability, depth, excitement, knowledge, curiosity. If someone becomes repetitive, predictable, boring, negative, or emotionally one-dimensional, your mind checks out. You may still be there physically, but your brain already left the conversation 3 minutes ago, and eventually, your presence follows. You don't disappear because you want something better. You disappear because you seek something alive. Your mind needs movement, your spirit needs exploration, your brain needs novelty. Without that, you suffocate. Reason 8. Your disappearances are actually acts of emotional loyalty. This one will shock people who misunderstand you. When you disappear, it's often because you don't want to hurt someone with your words, your honesty, or your emotional overload. You care so much about the relationship that you choose silence instead of conflict. You disappear to prevent damage. Gemini never walks away lightly, even if you seem casual about it. You withdraw to avoid saying something impulsively. You retreat so you can think instead of react. You distance yourself to protect both sides. Your disappearances aren't cold, they're considerate. People don't realize this about you, but Gemini avoids conflict because you value harmony more than winning an argument. You disappear to preserve peace. Reason 9. You need freedom, even from the people you love. This is fundamental. Gemini needs space, space to breathe, space to think, space to be themselves, space to reinvent themselves, space to disappear and reappear as they wish. You can love someone deeply and still need distance. You can care about someone sincerely and still crave solitude. You can adore someone and still feel overwhelmed by proximity. This doesn't make you unreliable. It makes you human. Your freedom isn't rebellion. It's survival. People who love you must understand. You don't pull away because you're done. You pull away because you need it. And when you get that freedom, you always return. Always. Reason 10. When you're hurt, you don't lash out. You vanish quietly. Gemini doesn't explode. You implode. When something hurts you, you don't shout, you don't argue, you don't fight for attention. You withdraw. Silently. Quietly, invisible. You disappear because you don't want to make things worse. You disappear because you want to process pain privately. You disappear because your mind needs time to make sense of the wound. Gemini doesn't run from conflict. You run from chaos. Your silence isn't weakness. It's emotional intelligence. Reason 11. You need time alone to recharge your creativity. Your creativity is your oxygen, but creativity doesn't come from noise, drama, or emotional overstimulation. It comes from solitude. You disappear to reconnect with your ideas, your imagination, your inner world. You retreat when your creative well runs dry, and when you come back, you bring new energy with you. People don't realize that your disappearances are often your most productive periods. This is how you grow, how you evolve, how you rebuild yourself from the inside out. Reason 12, you're not escaping, you're realigning. Every time you disappear, you come back clearer. You come back with a new mindset, a new energy, a new perspective. Your disappearances aren't endings, they're recalibrations. You pull away so you can return aligned with who you are, not who others want you to be. And that, Gemini, is one of your greatest strengths. If there's one thing I want you to take away from this video, it's this: Gemini disappears, not to escape life, but to stay aligned with life. You don't disappear out of fear. You disappear out of self-awareness. You disappear because you know when your energy needs protection, and that makes you stronger than people realize. Gemini, if you related to this, do one thing for me right now. Hit the like button so I can see how many Geminis finally felt understood today. And if you're new here, subscribe. I make videos every week about your sign, your path, your destiny, and your energy. Now tell me in the comments, have you ever disappeared without fully knowing why? I want to hear your story.